Willy's Wonderland, issue number 2 from American Mythology Productions. So I did a review for issue number 1 if you guys are interested in checking that out. But yeah, this series is basically we're getting kind of the backstories of the animatronics. So like in the first one, we got a little bit more of Willy, Sara, and Sara. And in this issue, we get Gus Gorilla and a little bit of Cammy Chameleon and Arty Alligator's backstory. But it's mostly Gus. And unfortunately, unlike the previous issue, this one doesn't really go more in depth about their backstory. You only get like a page or two, which was kind of a shame. But this one focuses more on the present day story it's telling of this guy named McAdoo who's reopening Willy's Wonderland after it was closed down 10 years ago because a bunch of people got killed. So yeah, I talked a little bit about that in the first issue, which again, you can watch that review. McAdoo, he opens up Willy's Wonderland. In the first issue, he brings in a bunch of people to, check it out for the first time before it officially opens. And then there's like a big, ado about, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea because, 10 people died last time. Maybe you shouldn't be opening up. Something's going, could go wrong. And he does it anyways because, he wants the money. And some people get killed off in the first issue. And McAdoo is basically trying to keep everything hush-hush. And that's kind of how we start this issue, where actually we start off with one of the employees going outside during his break to smoke a doobie. And then Willy shows up, kills him, and then steals his doobie and smokes it. And then that's when we get McAdoo. And McAdoo's kind of like freaking out. He's like, he's worried about the fact that he witnessed a couple people get killed. One of them was one of the employees that he was banging. She got killed, and now he's like, "Oh man, I gotta cover all this stuff up." And one of the employees shows up and says, "Hey, we got an emergency," and he's freaking out, thinking, "Oh man, someone else got killed." And it turns out that's just basically someone clogged up the toilet with a bunch of crap. And so he gets the newbie to unclog it, and that's when he turns to, as he's leaving, he turns to Artie, not Artie, he turns to Gus Gorilla. And he's like, I don't know why you guys keep trying to kill off potential customers. Like, we could be making a lot of money if you guys just hold in all of your violent tendencies. And, a sheriff shows up basically saying that there's been people going missing in the area. And we want to look at your footage. And McAdoo is able to bribe the sheriff. Like, you don't need to look at my footage. There's nothing going on. You guys don't have to worry about it. And this is when we get a bit of the history of Gus Gorilla. So we get a flashback of our animatronic characters back when they were still human. And they're in the insane asylum. They're having a little meeting. So we see Willy, Siren. I want to say that's probably Ozzie Ostrich. We have Cammy Chameleon. We have Gus. And we have Artie. So Gus is telling his story, and his story is basically that he was a janitor at the zoo, and that was like the happiest time he's ever been, just chilling out with the gorillas. Like, the animals always loved him, and he got along with them. It was the people that were scared of him. Like, the humans that worked there were scared of Gus, but the gorillas didn't. The gorillas liked him. The gorillas thought he was cool and stuff, and he would feed them bananas and stuff. And that's when we have this bitchy coworker show up and basically screams at Gus like, you're not supposed to feed the gorillas. It's not good for their diet. You're a big moron. You're a big dummy. Keep messing everything up. Why are you so stupid? And then she calls him a big stupid ape and slaps him in front of the gorillas. And this gets the gorillas to get all pissed off. Like, they start screaming and stuff. And Gus gets upset too, because here comes this bitch to come up and yell at him, calling him an idiot, and then slap him in the face. And then he's like, you shouldn't have done that, ma'am. And she's like, oh, wait, hold on. Like, we can discuss this like civilized people. It's like, you literally walked up to him and slapped him. So yeah, he punches her in the face, and then he just starts completely whamming on her as the gorillas kind of egg him on. And he kills her. He beats her to death. Now, I'm not saying she deserves to get beaten to death, but don't go up and start slapping your coworkers in the face, calling them stupid, and not expect for them to react. So yeah, that was Gus's backstory. That's how Gus met up with Willy and eventually becomes Gus Gorilla. is because he used to be a janitor at the zoo, and he was big friends with the gorilla and one of the coworkers. I'm assuming this isn't the first time maybe it's the first time she's hit him, but it's not the first time she's yelled at him. And yeah, she's constantly yelling at him, calling him stupid, and slaps him. And so he finally just snaps and beats her to death. And that's how she ends up in the insane asylum, where she eventually meets Willy. Yeah, meanwhile, we have, in the present day, we have the newbie just finishing unclogging the toilet when Ozzie the ostrich slices him for a good while. And then Arty Alligator finishes him off by, they double team this guy. Arty Alligator bites him in the head while Ozzie Ostrich starts slicing him. And meanwhile, McAdoo is upset because the money he used to bribe off the sheriff, that was like pretty much that month's worth of money that he made. That was that month's worth of money. So he needs money, and he needs money fast. And that's when this guy shows up and is willing to pay him huge stacks of cash to have a private session for his grandson's birthday party. Yeah, McAdoo agrees. And then that's when we get Jed, who's kind of, his job is to work with the animatronics, and he sees the newbie completely dead and decapitated, and he doesn't even say anything. He's just kind of like, well, I better clean this up before McAdoo shows up and has another aneurysm. And then that's when he's like, oh, I know this, because he sees like a blood splatter with a little doodle, and he's like, oh, I know Artie's work anywhere. And that's when we get a flashback to Arty Alligator's backstory. And it's very brief. It's just a page. And the backstory is basically that he used to be an art teacher. Then he went off the deep end and became a serial killer. And he would go around and he would kill people and he would bite them. I don't know if he would bite them to death or he would bite them after he's killed them. But yeah, he kills his victims. He bites his victims. And then he uses their blood to draw doodles and stuff all over the walls. So he uses his victims' blood to make arts. And yeah, he eventually says he gets taken into custody, where he says that the world is a blank canvas and he's going to give it color with each person he kills. And that's how he gets sent to the insane asylum. And then we have McAdoo having the party with the mafioso. I don't know if he is a mafioso, but this dude's rolling in the money. And so he has a private party with his grandson and all, his grandson's friends and stuff. And I'm not going to spoil everything, but you can pretty much assume that stuff is going to go down. I'm just going to skip till we get to Cammy Chameleon. So back at the insane asylum, this is in the past. We have the super happy fun room, which is, I don't know if Willy did that, but Willy's basically kind of becoming the leader of the inmates. He's basically created his own clique, and the inmates listen to him even during meetings before they share their stories or their feelings and stuff with the doctors. They ask Willy if it's okay for him to do that. At this little group, we have Willy, we have Artie, we have Gus, and I don't know who that is. Maybe that is Ozzie or Tito, or it could be Knighty Knight. I don't know. But we have another character. And that's when Cammy Chameleon walks by and Willy invites her to play, cards with them. And that's when she starts showing her different personalities. So Cammy Chameleon has multiple personalities. She's like, shh. Don't let them hear you'll get in trouble, and she's kind of scared. And then we have her other personality, who cares? I will rip him a new asshole. Now she's all pissed off. And then we have another one who's giggling she said asshole. So I'm guessing this is the childlike one. And then we have another one that's it's not like any of this matters anymore. So then we get the depressed Cammy. Cammy is a character who suffers multiple personality disorders. I think they just call it dissociative identity disorder now, DID, rather than multiple personality disorder. But yeah, she has multiple personalities. And she gets invited to the group, and she joins them. And then that's when Willy, I'm assuming this is part of his plan to break out. He gets Gus to attack one of the nurses that work there. A bunch of other ones come, and they zap him with a taser, and then they're gonna throw him in the hole for a month. And Willy's like, that's how we play our games. And I'm assuming this is setting up for their escape, because as they're carrying Gus away, he reveals that he has a key in his hand. So I'm assuming they're going to use that key to escape. So that's basically what this series is about. We have a present day story about McAdoo opening up Willy's Wonderland, and then the animatronics are like killing people. And then we have flashbacks of Willy and all the other animatronics back when they were human and they were put in the insane asylum and how they all meet up. And it looks like they're setting up like this is how they're gonna get this is how they're gonna escape from the insane asylum. So I'm wondering how they go from escaping the insane asylum to becoming animatronics. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, so we get little brief glimpses of some of their history, mostly just Gus in this one. Again, I mean, I guess we get a little bit of Artie in the sense that we find out that he used to be an art teacher and then he became a serial killer after going off the deep end, and then he kills his victims and uses their blood to make his artwork. And then Cammy, we don't really see her personality. We don't know why she's the way she is. We just know that she already has multiple personality disorder. Maybe she was born with it. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later on. But we find out that, yeah, she has multiple personality disorder, which, I mean, you already find that out in the movie. And that she meets Willy during a card game. I like the fact that we're getting like little glimpses of their history. I would like to see more, especially Cammy. I want to see how Cammy became how she became the way she is. We saw Ozzie Ostrich. We still don't know how he became the way he is. Tito Turtle, Knighty Knight. It'd be kind of interesting to see what some of the history for some of the other animatronics are. But yeah, there you go. There's Willy's Wonderland issue number 2. Like I said, I skipped over some stuff because I don't want to spoil everything. But that's basically what your 2 stories are. Your 2 stories are you get flashbacks of Willy meeting up with the gang in a insane asylum and, getting them to join his crew. And then eventually their escape. And then also we get little glimpses of their history and why, like what put them into the insane asylum. So that's one aspect of the series. And the other aspect is following McAdoo as he reopens up the place and then the animatronics killing people and him trying to hide all the murders going on so he doesn't get shut down and his life doesn't get destroyed. So it's basically those 2 plot points going on at the same time. Well, not the same time because the Willy stuff is in the past and then the McAdoo stuff is in the present. But it's those 2 plot points going on and they're getting interwoven as you read the story. So if you're interested in finding out the history of some of these characters from Willy's Wonderland, then yeah, check out this series. For someone who, for newbies, I mean, I would say it's still entertaining. Like, how would this series be for someone who hasn't watched the movie? Like, will you be completely lost? No, this is done. I think this whole series actually takes place before the movie as well. Not just the flashbacks with Willy, but I think also the McAdoo stuff is a flashback as well. Because I think they mentioned that it came out in the 80s. Think of this whole thing as like a prequel to the movie. So you won't be lost or anything like that. This is more of like just an addition to the movie. Like if you want to just find out how things got the way they did, then you read this comic. Yeah, I'm finding this entertaining. Like I'm enjoying it so far. It is kind of like it's dumb fun. It's horror comedy. Nothing to be taken seriously. I mean, you literally have Willy killing a dude and then smoking his doobie immediately afterwards. Like, there's not one part of this where you're supposed to be like scared or take anything seriously. This knows what it is and it just has fun with it. And I like stuff like that. So there you go. Willy's Wonderland issue number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.